Hello. How we doing? All right. This is it. This is like the last day of school. These guys can't wait to get out of here. But it's been a great few weeks. Going through phase one, phase two, the OTAs, and then this mini camp. There's been some great learning. We've been able to have our guys obviously learn some of the playbook. We've been able to learn our new players. So it's been a great look. There's been great competitiveness within the confines of what we're supposed to be doing out here. Offense, defense worked really well together, but we were able to get a lot of work done. So we're excited where we're heading into this off time before we get to come back and start this thing up.
Pete's mentioned receiver as one of the position groups that he sees as really competitive. You got a lot of new faces. What do you see from that group? And the young guys in particular?
Yeah, it's a deep group, and there's a lot of potential there, and there's just so much stuff that they're trying to absorb, and we threw everything at them so that they have a good knowledge of kind of what can be coming at them, and they've been able to pick it up well. Obviously with Darbo and Moore and those guys, they're doing a great job. Cyril looks good. Rodney looks good. There's a lot of depth there that we'll have some tough choices to make.
What have you been able to see from Austin Davis?
Yeah, it's good to get him out here and learn. Like he's one of those guys that we're trying to learn. The first thing that jumps out, he's a pro. He's come in and he's handled his business, like you would think a professional quarterback would. He's been up there studying all day, all night, and he has a great handle on the things that we're doing in the short time that he's been here. So, I think that's the first thing that jumps out of me.
You got a number of guys at running back to throw under the mix this year. Carson, Thomas, Alex. How do you view the whole group and what you're going to expect from you guys?
Yeah, I think again it's another one of those groups that's pretty deep, and it's going to give us great opportunity to have great competition. Those guys are going to be fighting for it. I don't know how many days you guys have been out here. I know you've been out here, the last 3 days, but that group's working. You see them sprinting down the field, finishing plays, and every one of them have looked good in their own right. And like I said, there's going to be great competition. It's going to be good to, once we are able to go past those first 2 days and then get the pads on and start to be able to get to the combative part of the game, then we'll learn more. We like how they're running. We like how they're moving around. We have a good feel of how they hit holes and the vision that they have. But there's still a whole other step to come.
What have you been able to learn about Eddie Lacy since he's joined you, seeing that he's been somewhat limited and so forth?
Yeah, I like the way he's fighting. He's trying to fight to get out there and practice. He's picked up the things fine. He has a great feel. You can tell that the time that we've had him out here. I like his vision. I like what he sees. Obviously, we don't get to see the part that we think is going to be the best about him. That bruising nature that he has, and he's caught the ball really well. I think that's something that's kind of jumped out at me, and we were really excited to have him.
How's Trevon Boykin looking to you?
Trevon's doing a nice job. He's made a nice jump. He's been in his book. I could tell, sometimes for those young guys, the hardest thing is just to call the play. He's spitting the play out really well. He's doing a great job there. He's running around making plays like you would think he would. He's got to continue to be conscious of the ball. Make sure he protects the football. And I think that would be one thing that he needs to continue to work on. But I like where he's going. I like his athleticism. I like his arm, and I like that he's been in the book.
Russ Wilson was telling us that he worked on quite a bit of his core strength in the offseason. Have you seen that translate? How have you seen that?
Yeah, Russell he's another one of those guys, just a true professional, and he works on every part of his game. Whether it's he's going to bring up a few things. He's not going to tell you a lot of the other things that he's working on, but every day he's working on his game. He's visualizing what's going on. He looks great. He looks healthy from the season. He looks like he's got his legs back, in a healthy way. His arm looks great. He's throwing the ball with good zip, and he got good command of the football. So he's always working, and he's doing a great job with that.
How much did his leg injuries take away from his arm strength, and then some of the passes you want him to make last year?
Well, I thought there was a lot of things that we had to do different last year. With injuries. Whether it was offensive line, whether it was running backs, whether it was him. So we made a lot of adjustments, and we were able to handle it the best way we could. And I think our guys were great in that way. We ended up throwing a lot more last year, different kind of passes. But there's no question Early he was really limited. I mean, he basically was just sitting back there. And then as we were able to keep him healthy, he was able to kind of get his legs back. And by the end of the year in the Atlanta game, he was moving around. Still wasn't 100%, but he was he was able to function and save plays like he does for us. But I like where he's at now, and he's all the way back.
You mentioned kind of last day of school today. What do you tell these guys? What do you advise them to get ready for that first day of school when we start training camp?
Yeah, the thing we advise them is this is long break. This is about as long as we've had. I think it's about 6 weeks for them to be off. So they've worked themselves into such great shape. From going from phase 1 all the way through these mini camps, and they can't let that they can't let that die off. They can't go on vacation and then sit around and then have to have this ramping up period when we get back, because it happens so fast. I think 12 days and you play your first game. So they need to come back in shape. They need to come back having worked out, be ready to run, and be able to handle the demands of camp. We can't have guys with soft tissue injuries and those kind of things because they took all this time off. So I think coach has really been on it. We've all talked to him. All the position coaches have talked to each and every one of their players, kind of have a plan with them. Making sure the things that that they have a plan set out. Where you're going to be, what are you going to be doing? Because once they leave here, then we can't talk to them really again, and we can't advise them on that stuff. So making sure we handle it now. And I think we have a great plan, and as long as everybody goes with it, then we'll be ready to roll when we come back.
Any of the young receivers really standing out right now?
Yeah, I mean, all of them are, and there's certain things. I mean, you saw Darrell make a great catch out there. Like I said, Cyril's he's made some nice catches. David Moore's made really nice plays for us. You see Rodney out there. He's kind of an older vet, but he's new to us. So they're all looking good, and there's going to be great competition. You have to take this a little bit. Sherm's not pressing them and throwing them out of bounds and doing those kind of things that can happen. Not being able to get off a jam. So the physical part of the game is still to come. But we've been able to see their recall, how they've been able to pick up the playbook. Can they make adjustments to the coverages that they see? And so far they're doing a nice job with that. There's always going to be steps. They can still improve on that. They can't turn their brains off as well when they go on vacation. But we like the progress that they made.
How much does Grayson look like a football player, someone who could play this year?
Yeah, you see it in flashes. I mean, he's still learning. About this year, it's way too early to call that because there's still so much more going on. I can tell you that he's a hard worker. He can run all day. So the conditioning part of it, he's been a runner all his life. So he can handle that. I know that he goes back to the hotel and he sits in there and works on the playbook tirelessly. So he's given himself the best opportunity and the best chance that he can to have a chance.
Anything else?
All right, thank you. See you in 6 weeks.